If that piece was called Composer's Holiday, I would hated to see what Lucas Foss did when he was working. I threatened to do an interpretive dance earlier, and I clearly am not that limber. So thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Sawyer. I know he's downstairs, but he did a lovely job on the story. Thank you, Barb. Today could have been easy. I could have asked Barb Martin to read The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. I would have come up following the reading and made general statements, had pleasant, easy for me to say, pleasant anecdotes about how life presents us with choices and that the roads we choose aren't always the easy way, but they sometimes are the best way, made some obscure UU reference, shared a personal story, and we would have been done. However, in my nearly 53 years of life, I have learned this. I never do things the easy way. Even unintended, easy isn't really how things work for me. So friends, today's message is going to be difficult, fraught with indecision, no real clear path, no connecting lines, and no real point. Because isn't that how life feels sometimes? Awesome. The preaching from the choir back here. It's awesome. In our reading today, we heard from the great poet John O'Donohue, who wrote in his poem entitled For the Traveler, a journey can become a sacred thing. Make sure before you go to take the time to bless your going forth, to free your heart of ballast, so that the compass of your soul might direct you toward the territories of spirit, where you will discover more of your hidden life and the urgencies that deserve to claim you. A journey can become a sacred thing. What a perfectly fantastic concept that is. Like some of you, I believe life is a journey. There's no real destination, no real pinnacle. The choices we make and the circumstances of the universe bring us along to experience and witness as many lovely, challenging, uplifting, and painful things as we can. In my opinion, this is an essential part of the human existence. But don't get me wrong, we try to have a destination, don't we? What historically has been tradition in our family or society lays out the template of the road we are supposed to follow. Societal norms and rules dictate how we should live our life, the correct paths to take, and a desired outcome. It's a very cerebral way to look at our life journey, and most likely the way most of us were taught to look at it. Though that seems to work for a lot of people, this view of life for me is flawed. It doesn't consider the heart, the emotional events that impact our journey, those things great and small, traumatic and mundane that ultimately shape who we are. Again, in the words of John O'Donohue, may you travel in an awakened way, gathered wisely into your inner ground, that you may not waste the invitations which wait along the way to transform you. If we approach our journey from a purely intellectual view, we will most likely miss the invitations that wait along the way to transform us. Sometimes the journey is a choice. Sometimes we are forced upon a path. Either way, we are called to navigate roads of uncertainty. For decades, I denied my sexuality. As a young child and an early teen, I knew I had different feelings, but they weren't strong enough for me to commit 100%. And like my parents before me and many in my generation, I met someone, fell in love, married them, and had children. That was the road that society, history, and family all conveyed to me I should be on. And I have to state with great confidence, it's not a road I regret. It was the road that called to me, and I navigated seemingly well. As I got older, however, those feelings from my childhood began to reemerge, and the desire and choice to understand them became stronger. John O'Donohue, again, in that poem, stated, so that the compass of your soul might direct you toward the territories of spirit, where you will discover more of your hidden life and the urgencies that deserve to claim you. I had made the choice to stay on the road I was on and chose not to discover, as O'Donohue states, more of my hidden life. I began to get a clearer picture of who I was as I grew older, but choosing to permanently own that publicly and privately did not seem like a good option. Things were good. They were fine where they were. There was no need for change. But I didn't come out of the closet. Someone pushed me out. It was hateful and spiteful attempt to disrupt my life by ending my job, exposing me for who I was, and my marriage, dismantle meaningful relationships and community, and all those things happened. I've struggled over the last few years with the collateral damage of that whole experience. Everyone I knew had to deal with the same event in their own way. My family, my friends, my church community, which was also my employment, they all had to struggle with this revelation and learn how to navigate their own other road. I had to instantly navigate all the twists and turns of this new road with no preparation. In those times, fear consumes you about the uncertainty of your life, your relationships, and those you love the most. When a part of our journey is not necessarily our choice, how do we proceed? What gives us the strength to move forward on that road? How do we honor the new part of our journey while understanding what brought us here? It really is the resilience we possess as humans, isn't it? We have to live in the circumstances we're handed. We certainly have choices. I had choices. I chose to move forward. I had the love and support of those who were in my life that were willing, even in disappointment, to support me. In contrast to not choosing the road you're on, we heard earlier about Chris McCandless, a restless young man who did not want or desire the life of privilege his parents had intended to hand him. Based on history, family traditions, and society, there was a clear path, a known road Chris was supposed to take. Chris was bold enough to take a chance and travel a different way. He made the choice to travel the other road. He crisscrossed the country, forging relationships, gleaning knowledge, and taking in the amazing offerings of this country's landscape. There was one problem with Chris's strategy, a fatal problem. He had no plan, no itinerary, no grand scheme other than to end up in Alaska. And he made it. But underskilled in the ways of survival, he struggled. He began to become weak. He found shelter in an abandoned bus where he died. Okay, this is not the feel-good part of today's message. But in a way, it conveys an important point. When we venture onto the other road, either by choice or by force, we cannot survive without a plan. Sometimes part of the plan may be just to see where the road leads, but we have to do it methodically with the foundation of those who love us. We nourish ourselves with people who unconditionally support us and make it possible for us to not wander aimlessly into the wilderness. We can maintain an adventurous spirit without reckless abandon. It is a challenge, but it is a possibility. Excuse me. Most of you know me as a musician from the many times I've shared music in this space. After I was outed, there was a time I could not see myself ever writing or performing music again. It was too painful. It's too scary to go out into public, too heartbreaking to even attempt to write. This was even after I'd spent several weeks in my heart space, my Mecca, Nashville, Tennessee. After meeting amazing people, writing more songs than I had in a decade, performing out in small clubs at open mic nights, I came home still feeling it wouldn't matter if I ever performed or wrote ever again. However, I forgot one crucial piece of information, that I could travel this other road carrying some of the belongings I had before. Sure, I'd shed some baggage, I'd changed jobs, severed relationships, but music this thing I've always known to be a part of me, could stay. It was crucial. It would save me. Recently, I wrote a song, and one of the lines in the song states, "Sometimes where you're going isn't where you are." Yeah, ponder on that, right? It's the itty bit of philosopher that sneaks out every once in a while. Wherever you are, wherever you've been, wherever you're headed, please know this. You were built for this journey. No matter how challenging the road is, or the other road is, or the other road is, there's always new life. Different, yes. Challenging, yes. But always remember, a journey can be a sacred thing. May it be so.